City of Elgin Mayor David Kaptain was elected to City Council in 2005 and became mayor of the state of Illinois' 8th largest city in 2011. He served on the Planning Commission from 1999 to 2005 and as chair of the Elgin Community Network since 2000. He is a retired chief chemist and director of process control for the Fox River Water Reclamation District. A lifelong Elgin resident with his wife Sandy, Dave is a graduate of Bradley University. Please join me in welcoming Mayor David Kaptain.
Thank you, Jackie. And one thing that did get mentioned, I also am a graduate of Elgin Community College, so I pay for my breakfast when I go someplace. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. Proud to speak to you as mayor of the city of Elgin. And Elgin provides stable government, efficient government amongst a sea of instability. And I think we're very proud of that fact. We work hard to do that. And it's not something that happens overnight. It takes a long time for those things to occur. It goes back many generations of city councils to achieve something that puts us in a position to grow and to prosper. It makes our predictions for the future very difficult. And as we've discussed in our current budget process, the issues that the state of Illinois is facing causes issues back to us as a municipality. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a sustainable city. Not sustainable from what you may normally think about in energy efficiency, but how do you continue to grow and how do you continue to be a strong city for years to come. One of the things I started to do a couple of years ago when businesses would come to Elgin and come and talk to the mayor, some people do like to see the mayor when they come to visit, and talk about moving their business here. I ask them, what's your 10 and your 20-year plan? Some people stop short. They don't have one. And I said, when we start to talk to people about coming to the city of Elgin, what can we do to help you? We like to look down the road a little bit. And that for us, looking for businesses is a 10 or 20 year. To me, that's a sustainable business. It's a sustainable city, and it makes our lives sustainable as residents of the city of Elgin. When I talk to you today about sustainability, that's what I mean. When we all go home today, we're all going to take a vision of sustainability for what our business needs to be for the next 10 to 20 years. And I'd like for you to start thinking about that. Where do you plan to be? What do you plan to see in your life? What do you plan to see in your home in 10 to 20 years? We need to work to prosper outstanding services in a cost-effective way. We work hard to hold taxes steady but at a low rate. We understand and we all get that it takes taxes, it takes money to provide the quality services that we have in a city like the city of Elgin. I've chosen 10 accomplishments that I believe are important for us in the past year for the city of Elgin and for the Elgin community. It's not just about the city of Elgin's government, it's about us as a whole because we depend on each other. First, I think and foremost is one thing that we've depended a lot on is the reaffirmation of the AAA bond rating that the city of Elgin has received for the past few years. That's very important for us to finance our businesses, finance what we do. We just went out to a $25 million bond issue this year and to successfully complete some road projects. The AAA bond rating for the city of Elgin was not reaffirmed once, but twice this year. There were concerns that the financial issues of the city and the state of Illinois would drag down the credit ratings of the communities that are part of the state of Illinois. And that's one of the challenges that we face. We are part of the state of Illinois, and how do we as a city continue on our path to prosperity? I put these in no particular order, and there's a reason for that, because I think they're all important. I didn't rate them on any particular category or any particular reason as to why I think one is more important than another. They're all important because all of these things influence how our city grows. There was a transition in leadership in the city this year, twice. We have Rick Kozol as the city manager, became effective here in August and took over the reins of operations, day-to-day operations of the city of Elgin. We have a new fire chief, Dave Schmidt, and Dave is a long-term employee. That kind of follows my philosophy, that you reward long-term employees for the jobs that they do. And if you have somebody in the position to take those jobs, you should by all means make sure that they get that opportunity to move forward. Elgin Community College received national recognition for the way that they educate Spanish-speaking students. They were recognized by organizations for the fact that the young people that come to this college and expand their learning for 2 years are learning at a level of all the other students within Elgin Community College. That's unusual in the United States. The Spanish-speaking young people that come to other universities and other colleges generally fall a little bit behind. Elgin Community College has done a great job in moving those young people forward and making them part of our workforce, which I'll be talking a lot about today. The Elgin Human Relations Commission, the Coalition for Elgin Religious Leaders, and the Elgin Police Department helped Elgin show its maturity as a leader among cities in the state of Illinois by peacefully discussing and resolving issues that potentially were volatile situations within our city the past year. It takes a lot of work. Many of these conversations and public meetings were held to dispel fears amongst our residents. Elgin performed better than some other cities within our community. I had other mayors talk to me, how did you guys do it? I said it's open, honest conversation amongst its residents, no matter what their color, no matter where they come from. And that's what's important for a city of our size and what our city is. The completion of the redevelopment of the Tower Building by a coalition of funding sources, including tax credits, TIF money, and private funds, was the cornerstone for a downtown redevelopment that's been going on for decades. It's part of a philosophy that the city of Elgin adopted years ago, that we want to convert part of our downtown into a residential area for commuters, for young people, for people to make Elgin, downtown Elgin, a 24/7 environment. That's our goal. And the Tower Building kind of accentuates that. The Tower Building is important to the city of Elgin. I've had people ask me, why did we spend the money to do that? The Tower Building in 1930 defined Elgin as a city. It became the cornerstone of what we look at on our logo. It became part of our downtown. When people give directions, they often will point to the Tower Building. It highlighted the transformation of Elgin from a town to a city. And that's why it was important to us to redevelop that. Resolution of a seasonal water problem in our community highlighted the need for quality and quantity of good drinking water. This followed on the issues that were faced in Flint, Michigan. It received a lot of publicity. It caused a lot of fear in people. And the city of Elgin works hard to make sure our water is the highest quality that can be provided in the state of Illinois. That's what we're going to continue to do. We have a great source of resource here in water in our community. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that farther down the road as well. But it's a tremendous resource for us. It caused some issues within our community, but those were resolved, and now we are moving on. District U46 started all-day kindergarten this year. That's important for economic development. It allows people to go to a job full-time and not worry where their child is going to be in the afternoon or in the morning. They have a full day of kindergarten to allow them to go and complete their job, do their work. Makes it much easier on them to become a valued employee. Also, they started an academy program that is going to direct young people into various opportunities that will train them to become mechanics, train them to become different disciplines in life. They've had academy systems for years for science, for math, for arts at Larkin High School, for example. Going to expand that. They found out that it was so valuable for a couple of reasons. And things that I kind of hold dear was I go back and I look at my second grade picture, and I had my 50th class reunion from high school. I look back at those people and I can name every person that's in that second grade picture because we went to school together for 6 or 8 years. The benefits of an academy program for young people can be they not only get a great education, they'll not only get a little bit of a heads up and a head start on a career, but they also will be able to go to school with the same young people for a number of years and develop those long-term relationships that stay with them the rest of their lives. Last but not least is the Elgin Development Group in the Chamber of Commerce. They've done yeoman-like work this year, bringing businesses to the city of Elgin, bringing industries to the city of Elgin. Our economic development plan in the city of Elgin is not isolated and not put in one building. It's amongst the city employees, it's amongst the chamber, it's the Elgin Development Group, it's the Downtown Neighborhood Association, and oftentimes it's amongst people like you, community leaders. When you talk about a community and talk to people in your line of work and say, well, where's a good place to go? Where's a good place to live? I hope you're saying Elgin, Illinois. The development group has helped us bring organizations like Farm and Fleet, Russo's Equipment. We have a trades union that moved here from Rockford. We have businesses that have started to relocate in Elgin through their hard work, and it's very much appreciated. Those 10 things kind of help define us as a community. We have, to look forward to 2017 is something that's very difficult. I just take the information that I gather from various sources and I look at things that I see. I don't have a crystal ball that's perfect, but I do the best that I can do, and it's part of what I feel I have to do as mayor is anticipate and plan for problems in the future. When I worked at the Water Reclamation District, that was my job. And I had to anticipate problems down there as part of process control before they happened. It doesn't reflect well on an organization or a business to realize that a problem's been fomenting for months before you take action on it. We need to look at the road signs for the future. What are the road signs for the city of Elgin for 2017? We have to anticipate and adapt to the inevitable changes to our city and continue on a path to a sustainable city. Continue to increase consolidation of our assets and intergovernmental cooperation to provide efficient and cost-effective services for our residents. We will be reviewing our comprehensive plan. It's been sitting here and we're working through it for a few years, but there have been a number of changes for us and for the state of Illinois as a whole. We have to adapt to those changes. We have to adapt our comprehensive plan to meet the new business cycle and the new 2017. We'll be beginning that after the first of the year. We must be cognizant of our changing demographic and the challenges facing a major city because of that demographic. Pat Quinn told me about 3 or 4 years ago. He said, Dave, Elgin isn't Mayberry anymore. Elgin's a city, and we have to start looking at it like that, and we have to start looking at the responsibilities that go with a city as something that we should be proud of and something that we have to make sure that we can perform. I'm going to give you some facts from the 2010 census that may be kind of startling to you. 28.5% of the people that live in the city of Elgin are under the age of 18. 43.6% of Elgin's population is Spanish-speaking. 42% of Elgin's population is Caucasian. 7.4% Black, 5.4% Asian. 26% of the heads of household in the city of Elgin were not born in this country. 40% of our businesses, large and small, are minority owned. And 14.4% of our population lives below poverty level. Sean Stiegel and I talked months ago about the fact, and go back to the very first comment about Elgin's AAA bond rating. Elgin may be one of the only communities in the entire United States that has a AAA bond rating with a poverty level of 14.5%. That's extremely unusual. You see that in communities like Naperville and Highland Park, but very unusual for a city like Elgin. We need to recognize the shift that's occurring in the housing market. We're seeing an increased demand for rental housing and smaller homes and lot sizes. We need to prepare for the impact of the oncoming interest rate hikes. Currently, almost 400 apartments are in the pipeline for the city of Elgin, rental units. This is in a city that for almost 40 years did not build an apartment complex. Supply and demand is the number one rule of all economics. It overrides virtually everything. And we need to take a close look at that for the city of Elgin. We need to anticipate the coming surge of commercial and industrial and residential growth that's going to occur in our city because of supply and demand. Elgin, for the last 3 or 4 years, is one of the leaders in the state of Illinois in the housing market, in new home starts. Elgin now has below 10% available space in both retail and industrial space. The demand is there, the supply is extremely low. It's going to balance out. And that's going to be when we started to talk about westward expansion in Elgin, this goes back over a decade. We looked past Randall Road. We anticipated rooftops out there that did not come. Those rooftops are going to start to come. And people are going to start to move back to the city of Elgin or move into the city of Elgin. We're rowing against the current in the state of Illinois. People are leaving the state of Illinois. Businesses are leaving the state of Illinois. We need to anticipate that those people are going to continue to move to the city of Elgin, and those businesses are going to continue to come to the city of Elgin for a number of reasons. The growth in our community is going to be in healthcare, high tech, transportation, and services. We need to support those efforts and those businesses by supplying a stream of educated workers. We have a couple of programs going in Elgin. I highlighted a couple of the academy program at U46. We've been working for well over 2 years now on the Alignment Collaborative for Education. The goal of that organization is to provide an educated workforce for the city of Elgin that will make us a sustainable community. We are going to start seeing the fruits of those labors here in the next few years. We need to create a pipeline of educated workers that will be leaving Elgin High School, Elgin Community College, and Judson University to move into the workforce in our community. And that's a goal of the Alignment Collaborative. The other goal, and I can't go through a speech without talking about this and the importance of, when we talk about kindergarten, we talk about educating young people. I just did an interview with Boys and Girls Club yesterday. They talk about young people at the poverty level. One of our goals is to make sure that young people at third grade can read at the third grade level. It's extremely important for their future education and how they become adults and how they become part of our workforce. We need to offer those same young people options as to where they can go in their life. But one of them, I don't get shocked too much anymore. I don't get disturbed very much anymore. But one thing that's bothered me a lot and disturbs me is that the prison system in the United States is sized and based on the reading level of the kids in third grade, because the opportunity for them to succeed if they can't read is greatly diminished. And the opportunity for them to go to jail and become part of the corrective system goes up dramatically. We need to make sure our young people are educated to become part of our community. We need to take advantage of the growth along I-90. That project's going to be completed here in the next few months. It's going to change the way we look at transportation. That's another reason why the city of Elgin is going to grow. We have a great transportation system, probably one of the greatest in the northwest suburbs. We have an interstate, travels right through our community. Pace has just remodeled their downtown bus station. Pace is putting in 2 parking rides in the city of Elgin to change the look of transportation. People can drive to the city of Elgin, park their car, get on a bus, and travel into the city of Chicago. That will be huge for people that live in McHenry County and Southern Kane County. They'll be able to get to work faster than they can by going on I-90. The bus will move along on the shoulder to guarantee that they can move at a rate that's faster than the flowing traffic that's there. It gives opportunities for people to be transported and to change the way that they look at their lifestyle. Instead of having to drive 50 or 60 miles and use their car, find parking, and expend money that they could better spend in local businesses, they will be able to find transportation in the city of Elgin. City of Elgin has 3 metro stations, 45 minutes to downtown Chicago, to the Loop, to work. extremely unusual. We've talked about rapid transit. It kind of stopped in the past couple of years because financing, but Elgin is still on the radar screen for rapid transit from here to Rockford and to Dubuque. And the train station, last train station on that stop would be at Big Timber. So we're looking forward to making Elgin a transportation hub. Transportation is the key for moving products and moving the goods and services that our community provides. We must encourage residential and commercial consumers to follow the lead of industry in the conservation techniques and local resources available to our community. Advocate Sherman and Multifilm are two examples that I like to use. They took advantage of the local topography and put in geothermal cooling systems for their facilities. The payback with huge capital investments was less than a couple of years for both of those organizations. But their vision when they moved in was not to be there 5 years. Their vision was to be there 10, 20, 30 years. That's the kind of thinking that we need to spread throughout the entire community. Let's start to think for the long haul. They will get payback on the heating and cooling bills. I was fortunate enough to give Multifilm an award for their innovative process. Two different processes. One uses a lake, just like we see out here, to cool their facility. The other one drilled into the ground on a small footprint and used groundwater to cool their facility. Great ideas for innovation. Farm and Fleet and Walmart, when they moved to Elgin, when I met with Farm and Fleet at their grand opening, I stood there with their director of operations. He was looking at the ceiling. And I said, "What are we doing?" And he said, "We're talking about taking all of these lights out. We're going to replace them over time with LEDs because we see the advantage for us not having to climb up 40 feet to go to the ceiling to put them in, and the energy savings that they put in." When our Walmart was built in Elgin a few years ago, it was one of the most energy efficient Walmarts in the United States. They had the vision, they saw the long-term future for them as to how to create a sustainable business. All of these things help the bottom line of every business, every home, and every retail facility in the state of Illinois. That's the kind of thinking that we need to push forward. The city of Elgin will continue to move towards financial independence from the state and federal governments. But we will be prepared to take advantage of grants and funding opportunities that will help us develop a great city. The state's declining revenue and debt load will continue to be a burden on municipalities. The impact is falling back on us. As taxpayers and mayors and managers and leaders and business leaders, we have an obligation to people who live in our community to provide the services that they expect. We'll continue to struggle against unfunded mandates. And I talk about them in a number of different ways, and my thinking changes often. We have unfunded mandates from the federal government. We have unfunded mandates from the state government. They pass laws, come back, the burden falls on us to fulfill those obligations. We also have mandates that are unfunded from the public. We just talked about one in the paper today. We're looking at cameras for our police department. And those cameras are going to cost us a significant amount of money. That was a mandate that I feel came from the public. The public demanded that kind of service and that kind of responsibility and transparency from our police department. So we're going to provide that, a mandate from the public. We'll continue to assist our residents and fulfill the state's obligations. It pays us in the long run to make sure that our residents are healthy, that they can get the health care that they need. It costs us money when we have an ambulance has to go transport somebody to the hospital that does not need to go. If they can get the care that they need and don't have to rely on that kind of emergency care, it saves us money. If we can take people that are having mental issues and mental problems and make sure that they get the care that they need, it keeps them out of the criminal justice system, and that saves us money. These are investments that we have to make as a city. As I start to wrap up today, you attending today as leaders of this community, by all means, walk the path that's set forth for you, but do no harm. Make sure that what you're doing is a benefit to you, your children, and your grandchildren. Build a sustainable legacy that will allow your children and grandchildren to follow the path that they choose. Together, our path as a city is not back to the past, but forward to the future. As we leave today on our separate journeys, may the author of all things watch over us all. Thank you very much.